Let's just get stuck into game week 1 and see what we're picking for this week. Okay, at goalkeeper, I've selected Asmir Begovic and Artur Boric, both goalkeepers from Bournemouth. Honestly, I could have picked any goalkeeper at about 4.5 million. I looked at plenty, but Begovic stood out because of Bournemouth's fantastic early season fixtures. They've got a lot of games that are very winnable and games where Bournemouth might keep some clean sheets. And I think Bournemouth will do okay this season. I expect them to finish relatively around mid-table. They certainly finished the season last season very strongly. I looked hard at Patricio at Wolves, Fabianski at West Ham, and Matt Ryan at Brighton as well, all around the same price point. But I went for Begovic because I think his fixtures just look that little bit easier than those other guys. It's definitely not something I imagine I'll stick with through the season. As Bournemouth's fixtures start to get tougher, I'd be happy to swap in for any of those guys I just mentioned. Particularly Patricio, if Wolves get off to a strong start, I think he'll be a great signing at 4.5 million. And then I just picked Boric up as insurance really. He's the man that will step in if anything goes wrong with Begovic. And at 4 million, he's just one of those goalkeepers that's as cheap as you can get. That helps kind of balance out the overall finances of the squad. Okay, moving quickly on to the defence. Got Hector Bellerin, Benjamin Mendy, James Tompkins, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Ryan Bennett. Mendy and Bellerin both play for top clubs, both get forward. I think they'll be involved in goals and assists, and also be in positions where they keep a lot of clean sheets. I've mentioned on a previous video, I think Arsenal are going to be a lot tougher at the back this season than they have been recently, so that kind of tells you why I'm picking Bellerin. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a player every manager should be looking at right now. He's cheap, only £4 million in the game. I think there's a very good chance he'll end up starting for Palace and as a result picking up points. I think Palace are going to have a pretty good season. He does like to get forward too, so even if he's there as a backup or a budget filler within your squad, he's a player that's got a very good chance of starting, so I'd strongly recommend looking at him. James Tompkins I think will get forward and get goals and again be part of a good Palace defence. And then finally Ryan Bennett at Wolves, I don't really know a lot about him. I'm tempted by all of the positivity around Wolves and how well they're going to do this season. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that he will start for them. I have no idea whether he will or not, but either way he seems like a good player in there to act as the cheapest possible backup. Okay, into midfield, I've picked Mohamed Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Ryan Fraser, Jorginho, and Jack Wilshere. I think Salah and De Bruyne speak for themselves. I'm going with talented players that performed well last year at the beginning of the season. I prefer to have relatively sure bets and then see how things pan out. So those two are the guys I'm banking on with a lot of money. Ryan Fraser's in there from Bournemouth. Again, as stated before, I think Bournemouth have got some good early fixtures and he's one of the players that makes things happen for them up front, and I'm hoping he can get assists, feeding goals into Josh King and Callum Wilson. Jorginho's a Sarri favourite. I expect him to play every week, and that's going to be a team that concedes very few goals and scores a good few too, and I hope that Jorginho can pick up points as a result of kind of both ends of the field playing for Chelsea. And then lastly, Jack Wilshere. I think West Ham are going to be fun. I think they're probably going to score a lot of goals, and I think he could be the guy that feeds passes through to some of those attacking players that West Ham have signed. Both for him and Jorginho, it's their price that's kind of attracted me more than anything else. I think at just 5 million they'll do okay in terms of generating points, and that frees up some budget for me to buy some bigger star players elsewhere. Okay, looking at forwards, I'm signing Roberto Firmino, Harry Kane and Wilfried Zaha. I think largely these choices speak for themselves. Firmino will get bags of goals at Liverpool, Harry Kane will get bags of goals for Tottenham, and I think Zaha is going to be the main man at Palace. And again, although I'm biased, I think Palace will have a pretty good season and he'll be involved in nearly everything. So I feel very good about these choices up front. Okay, so then in terms of selection, I'm leaving Boric on the bench. I don't expect him to start. Wan-Bissaka, because I'm just not entirely sure that he's going to start for Palace, is my first sub. Second sub is Hector Bellerin, a player that I want to play a lot this season, but they're playing Man City at home, and I just want to be a little conservative going into that game. And then finally, I've got Jack Wilshere on the bench as well this week. West Ham start away at Liverpool, and that's about as tough a fixture as you could look for. But I'm looking forward to bringing him back in the team as West Ham's fixtures get a little bit easier. So to summarise, the starting 11 that I'm putting out will be Begovic in goal, Benjamin Mendy, Ryan Bennett and James Tompkins in defence. Then we've got Ryan Fraser, Mohamed Salah, Kevin De Bruyne and Jorginho in midfield. And then up front we've got Roberto Firmino, Harry Kane and Wilfried Zaha. That's it, game one. Let's see how we get on. Thanks for watching.